It's a much more solid start in this game. A snipe drone! Says to Legend, nice last game. It's my turn to take over now.
Maybe a sign of things to come. We'll see if they can continue this as the damage comes in again. Very good continued damage coming in from Snipe Drone on the bat ledge. Eventually has to back down, but they do get 2. Now 3 dead. Legend, last player alive. Yet again, very good control coming out from Quadrant.
They have the information on where he is, and Legend is last alive. If you know where he is, you probably know where the respawners are going to be as well. So fantastic control in this first hill here from Quadrant. Legend's going to try and fly in, but SLG's going to stay alive in this hill, and nobody else from Space Station is even close by the looks of things to challenge this, but they do flush that player out of the hill. Therefore, they've bought themselves just a few seconds of time.
Was 2 dead apiece for just a moment. Look at the progress, though, on the hill here, and Quadrant's going to want to very quickly close this one out.
Legend's still alive. Found inside of the hill was the last player alive, though. SSG trying to get those respawns, and they have managed to find them, and Snipe Drone is going to be caught off guard by one of those respawners. SSG finally break.
Now, certainly this one doesn't happen as well. I'm just going to say it. There's no way the Quadrant throws away this
Europe
hill.
just said thank you, by the way, for that.
Surely not. Let's see if Space Station can hold.
Get ready to sweet Andy. Snipe Drone and SLG do get 2, though, and that's going to be SLG with a double kill, so hold your phones, everybody. It's all good. Quadrant do secure the first hill, and Glory has had a fantastic start to this game as well, away with his second shock rifle, sat at 6 and 3.
1-0 on the board. Quadrant going to be very happy that that one comes in, and as you say, also comes in without added difficulty. A few more spawn cycles might have been, even if they got the point, it's just a little bit kind of taxing in terms of motivation and emotion in the game. That one comes a little bit easier than the other points, and now with 3:58 left on the game clock, Glory connecting into Whirlpool. That means continued slaying control from Quadrant.
And this is a really good opportunity to just kind of show everyone at home, if you haven't seen what Glory can do, just how much talent this man has individually. With the shock rifle in his hands, he is a problem. And look at the progress already here. It's another shot connected for the killing spree. Stella might be next as well, and Quadrant are on the precipice of going 2 hills up.
3 dead, trade as well. Kill does come in, 4 dead for SSG. Continued points, Quadrant will score. They go up 2-0.
Well, this is how you start the comeback, but with the way that Quadrant have been playing so far in this series, you know that they will know 2-0 is not going to win them a game. They have to close it out. And Space Station do have control at the moment, and they have some kills on their side as well.
Finally, a few kills do come in here. If Seeking can stay alive, that would be huge. However, they're 3 dead. Glory is your last player alive for just a moment. It looks like they know it. They flush him out. That will be officially 4 dead. 2 players already off the spawn.
Look at Legend as well. He's already up on the map, and SLG had no idea that he was pushing in. Does not let them reset, gets that first pick for free, comes out of it with full shields, and now they've got numbers, and it's just about finding all of these Quadrant players and picking the rest of the push off.
2v2 on the map for just a second. Legend gets forced back out of Whirlpool, but he has all the help he needs. They're going to continue scoring here. This should be an easy close based on the spawn timing.
Camo coming up as well. Now, what's the play? Is that going to distract SSG enough to give this hill up? But it looks like that's not going to be the case. The camo has been picked up somewhere. It's by a Quadrant member, as the first hill will be picked up here by SSG. It's 2-1. And the camo has been negated. So Bound now, flying out bottom middle, trying to put pressure onto respawners as we move over to the C-Plat hill.
Things really changing quite a bit. Quadrant, as you'd expect with a 2-0 lead, initially had been outslaying quite heavily. However, that advantage in the slaying department has been dropped to just 2 kills now. Quadrant outslaying 30-28, but already points on the board on this 4th hill for SSG.
SSG just taking a second to step out of that hill because they felt like they didn't have the damage they needed to expose one player inside of the objective. Try to group up inside of the tower to make sure that they at least got some numbers a little bit closer, but the push is coming on the long haul here, and you can see that kills are being picked up and traded, and that's why nobody's really wanting to step in this hill right now. Quadrant are close. SLG with that shot might change his decision to step inside the hill, and yeah, he does.
Finally, the opportunity here, and now with 2 dead, it might be more points on the board for Quadrant. Let's get into a listen in with them.
Enemy team took the hill.
One step go on me. I should heal. Heal, one shot for you. Dead.
Yes, I'm gonna push up doors.
Bottom there, do damage for you. He's stuck. Good blue pipe. Heal blue pipe.
I'm too long, Stellar. I'm too long, Stellar.
Push it together.
He's going C.
Yeah, push it together.
Go reload.
CC là.
Tiens-moi ten,
Si, si, si.
Spawn batteries, bro.
Pushing this. Don't peek, mate. Shield the guy on A. Was that's good, that's good.
Tiens-moi,
Wait for it,
Oh shit, nice.
Y'a un baiting, tiens-moi.
Mangler.
I'm looking. We can see.
Another one tower. Gonna trade me. Mangler weak. Mangler, I got one shot on him.
On camera.
He went tower.
I have cover. They're playing for me, they're playing for me.
Put him in, weak yellow door.
I have cover.
One shot, Mangler.
Blue pipe,
Absolutely
Absolutely
shady.
I'm gonna kill shit.
Je l'ai cover. One more bottom tower, and one more
Backside of the weak,
You can push that.
Okay,
You shot backside low,
in the window. They're playing for me,
Two tower, really weak.
I can't push this, I can't push this.
All one shot, bro. Each all one shot.
One shot.
Don't go back, see someone.
Okay, come. Come back to me.
Nice, great.
Nice. I'm timing you one.
Bottom mid.
I'm on shots.
Spawn long, block the TK.
You bet with me,
Suck
someone.
is up, they might play for shot.
And someone can bet with me.
I'm spawning in a second. I spawn long, I'm coming to you, Norman.
I'm here.
You can go, Norman, you can go ahead.
Okay. He's front.
He's front weak. One shot front tower.
Dead. I'm dead.
Bottom mid, one shot. It's turbine batteries.
But the mid dead. Dead.
Box number 8.
He's dead. Long. Watch my day.
Laisse-moi pas de ledge.
He's long. He's long. One shot long.
Okay, go long.
Watch out, sack.
Long.
I'm going long.
One tower. Long and tower.
Well, back into the game, and 3-1 is the score to Quadrant. They secure that third cap, and let me tell you, it was a fascinating listening, a fascinating battle around that hill, Andy.
It really was there, and of course, very much warranted reactions coming out of the crowd here in Arlington with the way SLG played with that grapple, just whipping back and forth between Tower and Plaid, cleaning up his own kills as well. And I think you and I were talking during the listen-in, just really both teams so focused on the numbers that really only when they're able to get the 2-3 dead they need do they start to put the points on the board. But brilliant patience coming out of Quadrant, really nice slaying control. They were trailing early on in the listening in that hill, but instead with 1:20 on the game clock, they go up 3-1.
Camo coming up in 10 seconds as well. Legend going to get picked off by Glory. Glory, who is having quite the game at the moment. He says, I see your 21 kills in the last game. I'm on 20 myself in this third game of the series.
Really nice stuff from Glory all game here, and even when he gets taken down, it feels like he bounces back right away, even stronger. Should be another grab there, bottom middle. Keep an eye on that in terms of SLG's POV. 1 minute left on the game clock here.
SLG got that camo, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
But Legend hunts him down. And it looked like the game plan, by the looks of how people have been moving and staying alive on this map, was to try and play time here for Quadrant. But does that give the opportunity for SSG to get kills, to step back in? There's still a lot of time left in this game, Andy, to turn not only one hill over, but two.
Can they do it? That's the question. We've seen them do it before, and I think with any other teams, people might be thinking, 3-1 with 57 seconds left on the game clock. As a reminder, of course, for everyone, with anyone in the hill, that game clock will pause.
How is he alive?
Unbelievable shots from Legend against Glory. What a 1v1 at Tower. Continuing to make statements up against his forward team. What's going on?
This is almost kind of verging into legal territory, to be honest with you. It's going to be 3-2. And we mentioned how at the start of that hill that there was around a minute left on the game clock. There's 54 seconds left still. SSG still have plenty of time to turn this around.
This is the danger zone for Quadrant, and we've been here before, not only in terms of game score, but emotionally as well. I think everyone in the room's been here before in this series. 2 dead for Quadrant. Space Station Gaming showing no signs of slowing. They've kept the game clock still just at 47, and they continue to tick on the scoreboard.
And it's that man Legend again who's stepping up in the late game. He's 22 in 17 in this game. 8 assists to his name as well. As Eco steps inside of that hill. SSG lose him though. To 4v3 on the map at the moment. Legend's looking for damage to capitalize on, but can't find anyone now.
There's the SSG chant in the building there. However, as you say, Quadrant silences it for just a moment as they do get the first pick at a very pivotal time. That eats 20 seconds off of the game clock. You have to think Quadrant maybe just going to try to play time as best they can, but 2 kills come in. This could be a very big third. It's a big 1v1 win from Snipedrone to keep things at 2v2 on the map. That could have been it.
I mean, this is the man brought in to try and fill the shoes of Legend when it comes to numbers, right? And winning 1v1s like that, that's why he's on the team. But you got to remember that Stella's inside of the hill and the SSG are playing the late game once more. It's 3-3, 30 seconds for 2 caps for SSG.
Don't forget, moments ago it was just 3-1, and Space Station doing it again in this game. Somehow tied 3-3. We said there was a lot of game clock left, but they might even do it here in regulation.
What a comeback. And now Legend with the camouflage inside of that hill can taste a series victory against his old team. Stella taken down as well. It's 2 dead for Quadrant, and we are in the danger zone.
3 dead even for a moment. Snipedrone's going to try to make something happen on a long haul push. All 4 players are up. They need to make the push right now.
10 seconds on the game clock. Next Hill will win this. Bound's got the shock rifle as well, and Legend, he's hunting for more. Snipe Drone won the first 1v1, but not the one that mattered most. SSG stood inside that hill still. The question is, can Quadrant get close? There's a push coming through the tower. SLG found one. But can they flush this player out of the hill?
They should be able to. That's big damage on Zika. Oh, 2 players in hill now. They get some hydro spawns as well. Now officially in overtime here, 1:59 on the clock.
Legend played his life so well in that situation. I have to say, a lot of players you would have seen previously would have got carried away with things, tried to jump inside of that hill, tried to clean up a triple to try and flush Quadrant out, but he's still alive and he is still a problem. However, the breakers come in. Quadrant are inside of that hill, and SSG have to slow down.
How big is Snipe Drone staying alive there? If Snipe Drone dies there on the sneaky, that is a man advantage push for Space Station, and you can be guaranteed that the push comes in and likely goes through. Now tied here on the last hill of the game.
Camo's coming up as well. Decisions to make for both teams. Do we play for the power up? Do we play for the hill? It's a 2v2 on the map at the moment. Stella gets taken out by Glory with that commando. The shroud is down, the camo is up, but Quadrant has stood inside of the hill. Bound has to fly.
Has to fly. I don't think he has the time. That should be it. And Quadrant in the last second in overtime will take the game. History does not repeat itself in our game number 3. They win 4-3 and they extend the series.
Can you believe the series we are seeing already this early on a Saturday in Arlington? The question coming into the series was, what is the late game like for Quadrant?
Yep.
Can they put together a bit of composure, a bit of calm when it matters? Well, even though Space Station were let back into that game, from 3-1 to 3-3, the most important moment of the entire match, Quadrant win it.
They win it, and how about Snipe Drone staying alive on the sneaky? I'm telling you, in that 1v1, he took at least 2, maybe 3 shots as a one-shot on the sneaky. Legend could not finish it, thought that the finish was going to be easier. Snipe Drone staying alive and scampering back to the team, preventing the man advantage. That's a guaranteed SSG push, and statistically that probably goes their way. Instead, it's a flat 4v4 on the map for that last push, and Quadrant holds.
Game of margins, we're seeing it again, right? Snipe Drone, you have to say, in the pivotal moments of that game, won either individual battles or kept himself on the map long enough to re-engage and keep Quadrant in a position to hold SSG at bay. You take yourself back to the pipes fight that he had, right? Wins that 1v1. That allows time to go off the clock. Yes, they lose the hill, but it burns time off the clock for them. And then in those final moments, I have to say, there were some really good plays around the back of the hill from SLG and Glory combining together. And when we went to the listening as well, something to point out is SLG is kind of saying to Glory a lot of the time, you can play off this damage. You can push into tower now because I have damage down for you. It looks like there's a little bit of a budding in-game relationship happening between these two players, and they're playing off each other exceptionally.
You also just saw in the highlight reel, we had a chance to talk about it momentarily in the game. That's a nice double as well from Glory, just holding down long haul single-handedly.
He always has that plasma pistol, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty
nuts. He really does, and is he ever putting it to use before the patch comes in, without a doubt, as that won't necessarily be as effective with the recent changes that are announced that are coming to the Pea Shooter. But man, what an absolute, this play from Legend as well, somehow staying alive through several battles. And this is when it looked dire. Glory's your last player alive in tower. Stellar even forces him back. They maintain that with 30 seconds left. They get 2 hills back to back. It looked like it was going to be a very similar story to our game number 1. However, Quadrant, they ice up. Take a look at the scoreboard. It will not be the same thing across the board. It's a 4-3 overtime win for them. And on the main stage, that's the first time we've seen them find the ice in the late game. Is that maybe a sign of things to come for them this weekend? So 2-1, the series will continue. And I looked at the next game type, and I've got to say I had a smile on my face. We are going over to the new map mode for this season, Forbidden Capture the Flag. And I have to say, one of my favorite flag game types we've had in Halo Infinite so far. It's so unforgiving. It punishes you if you go 4 dead. It's not about worrying if you're going to lose a cap if you go 4 dead. If you lose your snipe, and they've got one as well, you can get easily rolled in a couple of minutes. Exactly. Toss the overshield to that mix, and it can get very, very punishing. And I would say in terms of slay rotations, we can expect something potentially similar to game number 1, right? As you said, very, very punishing game types, and we got a treat of a game in that game number 1 with huge comebacks, huge swings of control. We'll have to see if the same thing will be the case here on Forbidden CTF. I feel like we're being treated to
a series, it's almost like it should be this good this early. You know what I mean? But here we are.
Feels like a Sunday series.
It certainly does indeed. SSG and Quadrant entertaining everyone here in the building, as well as everyone sitting at home, I'm sure. And you get the feeling that there's going to be some pretty big plays with that sniper rifle coming in here, Andy. This sniper is so vital to control. If you could throw it off, by the way, the other teams, and you can keep yours as well, it gives you such an element of control with a great line of sight that you actually have on Forbidden to play with.
Yeah, it really, really does. And like you said, when you have two sniper rifles in play, plus that overshield coming in, we could see teams easily, not just back-to-back cap, but the game could be over very, very quickly. So I think what both teams are going to have to focus on when they're spawning back base, when they're coming down rat tunnel, making sure that, hey, this flag might be gone and they're going to need to know when to cut it off, more so than ever before in a CTF. Just knowing that, okay, we got to let this flag go because in about 120 seconds time, if we don't, the game could be over. And they're going to need to be careful about that because, and I say that about both sides, because we saw what they were able to do in a triple cap when they know exactly how punishing the spawn system can be, especially with the current spawns in Halo Infinite right now. These teams are going to have to be very careful. Know when to forfeit a flag, know when to just win a 1v1 in the back of your base, get someone off of your flag, and then push out HUT, push out main ramp. They're going to have to take this one flag at a time and make sure that they don't let themselves get double or, heaven forbid, triple capped them.
I think one of the fascinating things about having this game type as well is we don't really have any data, right? We don't have any data whatsoever on tournament performance. We don't know how good SSG are. We don't know how good Quadrant are, what their strategies are going to be like. Usually when we're commentating some of these games now, we kind of have a pretty good picture of how a team wants to approach a game time, what their strategy is going to be, what their pacing is going to be. But the fact that this is a new game type not only makes it difficult for us to predict what we're going to see, but also makes it difficult for each team to predict what is going to happen. It's not a case of, oh, we're too dead, they're in blue, okay, they're probably going to slow things down. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a case of we're going to have to play this one almost instinctively at times and not try and stick to what we're going to work on, not what's happening on the other side.
And what I love about that as well in this map and game type combo is you and I have talked a lot about very inventive flag routes, very inventive sight lines. There's a lot of mixes of elevations where you're sniping through pillars on unexpected angles. All of that is going to add to a fantastic game number 4 as we're underway. Space Station currently leading in the series 2-1. Quadrant trying to stay alive and force a game number 5.
Battle for Overshield is going to be the first thing that we really have to keep our eyes on here, and Snipe Drone will get that first pick. However, Stella has got the sniper rifle, and he's already got a double kill. So I think we need to go to some Stella POV pretty soon. Snipe Drone didn't manage to just scoop up that Overshield, and this could be fun, is all I'm going to say. This could be fun, unless you're a Quadrant fan.
Big shout out there to the team in the back. On the POV change to get to see Stellar hit that shot. However, the control that does come in from Quadrant still allows the pickup on the overshield, and that's really going to be a big thing we're going to be watching about top mid. You do want to send numbers there. Oftentimes, one player is not enough to make that overshield happen. They do get the pull, and now Stellar is under pressure as a result.
No sniper rifle to play with as well. You did see Snipe Drone got that first overshield. It's 3 dead here for SSG. And Snipe Drone inside of your HUT is a problem. He can anchor this position, and Seeker has an opportunity already to run this one towards him and think about running it rat tunnel. But look at that overextension, Andy. You were wagging your finger. You saw it straight away.
I was. 3 players overextending. However, Eco's still here. Great play from Snipe Drone to be aware that Eco was there. Now they only have to worry about the overextenders here coming in through rat tunnel.
Shots all ready to bound. Look at this route, by the way, from Snipe Drone. That's such a smart thing to do. He knew he had no shields. He knew he wasn't in a position to challenge and take down bound if he would have turned around. So waits for that second to get those shields back, uses the pillar as cover before he re-engages, and now it's just a matter of getting these final kills, but SSG making this hard.
What a play here from Glory, though, to just hit the drop slide perfectly and get all the damage he needs. Can he get the cap in? Tries to hit it. No, it's on the stand. 2 players are dead. Seeker going to be the one who tries to go. Waiting. Eco with a very big pull here. Now both flags off of their stands.
Oh, that's a big stick coming in from Seeker, by the way, because that could have been an easy counter-camp opportunity, and let me tell you, it is going to be a flag sent home. Overshield coming up as well. Flag is still away by the looks of things. We've got a little bit of a standoff.
See what Legend's able to do here. Man, Glory, initially a really nice set of plays to hit the drop slide outer right tunnel.
Snipe Drone got 2! And he might be able to keep this flag alive now.
No.
Flag will be returned.
Wow.
So,
okay. I mean, that was an opening flag standoff that was very befitting of this series, I think. That just backs against the walls, everyone kind of on the edge of their seats here in the arena, and we will stay at 0-0. Glory with a really brilliant play to stay out of rat tunnel, do damage across all the way to his stream, also his main ramp, and then late goes for the touch in the end, just too late. The flag goes down on the stand, and we will stay here at 0-0.
Interesting to see the decision from Space Station once they lost those initial kills as well to just overextend. There's no point in fighting back through our flag, back through the map, because The angles that we're going to have to fight against are too much. We'll try and overwhelm by hitting a triple overextend. And I have to say, maybe Quadrant are going to look back on that and think, did we try and force that a little bit too quickly? Could we have waited for a few more kills and secured that cap?
It does feel like, especially because of the awareness to take down Eco in the back of the base, right? They're able to split that. They made sure that Eco did not get any kind of split spawn or any kind of split pressure. And it felt like they maybe had the time to try to take down those rat tunnel players, maybe wait and bait with the flag, but they did try to make it happen fast.
Interesting as well. You think about that, Snugdra got that kill on Eco, right? Who was the player who was furthest up to get that flag pull? The respawning Eco. So that's how long it took Quadrant to secure the kills and damage, and they weren't able to do so. But Glory is now in a position to do a huge amount of damage. Not going to be able to do so, and we might have given a sniper rifle to Stella.
We'll be down for just a second. It was 2 dead for both sides here. It's 2v2 bound. Trying to connect top middle and also stay alive here on the top of the main ramp.
Should be a dead flag. As you can see, Quadrant are set up top middle for the overshield. Seeker with some incredible shots to take down Bound. And it's amazing what a game win can do for a team, right? The confidence it can just put into your shots, those individual battles. All of a sudden you start winning them a few more and you feel a little bit more like you're in control.
Finally taken down there, Seeker, but not after some very good damage. However, that snipe drone overshield could be big. See what Legend has to do here. He's going to be forced to overextend as well.
Another overshield going over to Quadrant. That's 2-1, I think. Space Station weren't really able to make too much
look at the run
of theirs.
Oh, it's unfortunate. The run there had really big potential to hit the pillar onto the main ramp and be very, very quick off the drop. Doesn't hit exactly what he wanted to do, and to be honest, it's a really tough flag to now pull out of that corner.
Yeah, I think he's giving up on that one. However, Glory gets the touch.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, that is the depths of the sewers.
It's a circus out
here. Oh boy, once that flag's down there, it's a high risk, high reward run. And I love the pillar to main ramp run if you can hit it, but when you don't, that thing is just sitting in the sludge. And as we just saw from Glory, you really gotta have your wellies on to grab that thing out of there.
SOG just gonna be caught out here. Stella's managed to sneak behind enemy lines into the Quadrant hut, and they're 3 dead at the moment, and it might be 4. That's all of them down, a killing spree, and the flag running away. This is going to be the first flag cap. You can see all of Quadrant still trapped in the back of the base, and there's no line of sight to stop this flag. Legend showing it's not just the kills he can get, he can do the flag work as well, as SSG will strike first.
Very, very good timing there on the kills there, and a few cheers in the audience from the SSG fans as that flag will go in. And as we know from this game type, one flag often the difference maker here. We'll see if they can continue the pressure, but the first flag goes in cleanly for SSG off of Stellar's really nice control.
Also looking for a second as well. You see, they got that flag pull out. SLG's had to overextend just to send that flag back home and kind of reset the map. And that means that Eco might have some easy pickings here, but no such thing when you're up against a Quadrant player.
Look at Stellar's numbers right now. He's 15-7 in this game. Talk about it. We've been playing here for just shy of 6 minutes of play. Only up by 1 flag, and to be +8 at 15-7, quite a statement from him.
Sniper coming up at the same time as the overshield as well. Challenges are going to be accepted here. 2 quick scopes, almost gets one onto Legend as well, as the over is still up. Eco's going to get it with no shields as well.
Just under the tag, beautifully done. We were treated to a momentary sniper battle. 2 longtime teammates and 2 players who certainly know how to use it, but Eco's going to grab the overshield. Finally, it's depleted and will be taken down in the end.
SOG might have a lot of work to do here, though. Has to hit some more shots with that sniper. Look at this. Legend has snuck behind all of the Quadrant setup. SLG had work to do, but now he's just giving sniper rifle ammo over to a person you really don't want to do it.
Oh, look at this. Back of the base, Seeker with very good awareness there to challenge Legend from the other side. Looks like it was going to be a lot of trouble, but nades coming in, finally taken down.
Really important that they dealt with that. They can get that sniper rifle back in their hands, you would imagine, even though it's just a couple of bullets. It means that it's not going to be used by SSG to pick off those respawns. But Eco up on this plat at the moment, at the top of the main ramp, just kind of stifling a lot of players. Seeker tries to overextend and sneak up behind him, but Eco gets the call out, and Eco deals with him. It's 3 dead here for Quadrant. SSG in position to trap them in the base, but nobody really thinking about the run yet.
4 dead there. Really nice patience from Eco. You might have been wondering, why is he sitting top main ramp? He's pre-nading. You could tell based on observer mode that there were no players there. He was looking for Seeker. He knew that someone was either coming up main ramp or going rat tunnel. Really good patience there from Eco. Here comes the run.
Run started. It looks like it's going to be the same run again. Eco looking for the overextend once more, making sure to smartly just keep this high ground. Doesn't need to jump down, just needs to keep angles before he can clean up the damage. The Flag is back on the rat tunnel at the moment. SLG is playing on the pillar at the moment. Does he have the GB nades to deal with it? Bound has to give this one up and has to fight. Flagpool now comes in for Quadrant.
Wow.
SLG played that so brilliantly.
Unbelievable. How about SLG just sneaking in under the radar, hides pillar, pre-nades, as you said, with a GB nade onto Flag, then gets the pull as well, keeping his team in this.
Full Flag standoff then. Overshield is coming up, and it's going to be Eco who gets it once more, and that could be the difference maker here. Eco with the Overshield can look to be aggressive on this return.
You gotta wonder, how does he play this? He's gonna wait for opening damage if he can just be an addition to that. He doesn't want to let this Overshield get melted. It would not be worth it. Wants to do whatever he can to do the maximum damage with this Overshield. He's still got about 50% left.
The process from SSG really impressive here as well. They clean out their side of the map first. And Eco is just standing still, waiting for teammates to move up to him, because he knows even though he has an Overshield, it doesn't really matter
there they go.
if you've got 3 guns on you. Now the push is going to come in. Now they want that return. Seeker going to be taken down. That's the first pick for them, but they don't know where SLG is with that Flag.
Flag rotates out. I think Flag rotates out to Hut. So even though it's a very good timing push coming in from SSG, they rotate away from the Overshield, and SSG not able to do too much with that Ovi. Here comes the next battle.
One's kill going to be traded out. 1 dead per side. Stella's still on the hunt itself.
Look at the chess match there. Eco doesn't let a sliver of his Overshield get taken down. Here comes the next battle on this Flag here. Stellar makes the push in. Very nice shots against Sika.
Takes down 1, and here comes the help. Snipe Drone's not going to be able to win this. No, he is! Somehow he stays alive. Glory gets a touch as well. And now maybe Quadrant can think about moving up the map.
Wow, unbelievable. I'll get to finish that thought now that we have all 8 players up, but a chess match there. Eco doesn't want any of his Overshield to get taken away. They drop down Rat Tunnel together. And even then, the Overshield gets, Flag gets rotated away from the Overshield, and a brilliant play by Quadrant. He has to get a touch right now.
Legend's going to be there, but he's met by the sniper rifle of Legend. Legend with the no-scope. Will take down Snipe Drone. The Flag should be returned as well. It is indeed, and Eco will put it home, and it's that man, Legend, once again with the clutch play.
Sneaks in the back of the base, able to not only get the return, but also win the 1v1 to ensure the return. The Flag was just out of reach on the touch, and with 1:58 left, it's now a very different game. A 2-0 lead for SSG. Needs to be unbelievable Halo from the side of Quadrant, but with 3 dead, it's not looking good.
This could be the game, everyone. This could be the moment where SLG will fall and maybe
4 dead. That's it.
Give the signal for SSG to close out the series. It's 3 dead, it's 4 dead, they're all dead, and at the moment, Legend's padding his stats while Eco is running it home. It's going to be the final Flag here, and SSG will close out the series 3-1.
What a series it was. In the end, you're going to see headsets up, hung up on the monitors, and these 2 teams shake hands, and for very, very good reason. What a series between these 2. It'll say 3-1 on the scoreboard, but every single game really close. Space Station in the end outslaying 65-51 and winning that game number 4 to close out the series with a score of 3-1.
Stella almost double positive as well. 25 and 13 for Stella. That sniper rifle is his best friend. And let me tell you, I mean, off the rip, we were like, oh, Stella's got snipe, and all you just see in the feed is dead, 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 dead. That's what happens.
I gotta say, once again, really, really interesting play back and forth between these 2. Wasn't quite as explosive as we saw that game number 1. Really much more control from these 2 teams, playing it much slower, making sure that, because if you make the mistake, you will be punished on that game type. 3-0 is your final score in game number 4. Space Station closing out the game with Flags.
We talk about moments, we talk about what little plays change games and the results of them. You gotta remember it was 1-0, if I'm not mistaken, when that Flag standoff was taking place. And if it was Quadrant who win the Flag standoff, get the return, it's 1-1, but instead it's 2-0. And off the back of that, you felt like maybe that was the wind taken out of their sails, knowing that the time wasn't there for them to come back. And the final cap was, of course, it would be put in by SSG in those final moments, but clutch play again from Legend on the Flag return, right? Goes in with a sniper rifle. Snipe Drone's got a snipe of his own, but one man hits that first shot, and his name is Legend.
It was, and Stellar with some very nice cleanup here, as we saw earlier in the game. And I tell you what, really, really tough scenes there, because we've all been, if you've played Forbidden CTF, you know that play well when in a Flag standoff. They happen so often in this game type that if you're sitting in the back and you don't have players in the right position, or heaven forbid there's someone in the back of your base, the risk of that Flag getting returned if you're only sitting on Hut and not sitting on the Flag itself is so high. And that's really exactly what happened. Legend with the perfect push. And to be honest, even if Legend doesn't get that kill, I'm pretty sure the Flag standoff return was coming in no matter what.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive stuff. And this is how the series looks at the end of things. 250 to 246. An insane comeback from SSG in that first game. 50 to 41, a little bit more control on the side of SSG with a a monumental Slayer performance from Legend, dropping 21 kills in that one. Quadrant, no, they weren't dead. They came back in that game. King of the Hill recharged to clutch up in that final hill, but CTF Forbidden was all SSG, which leads us with the series 3-1 to SSG.
I think Quadrant and Quadrant fans have a lot to be proud of there in terms of getting that game on the board. I think they really needed to make sure they weren't getting swept even in games where they were very close. So Quadrant, a lot of things to look at. However, also a lot of things to look forward to for this squad.
Well, that's going to do it from us. An amazing series to start off the winners bracket here, but we've got to hear from a member of Space Station, and we've got Bound on the main stage right now with Blaze.
Thank you so much, Onset and Brav. Esports Arena, show some love to Space Station Gaming, as they're one of the first teams to move on in this winners bracket. And man, Bound, you're going up against a Quadrant squad, and we know how good they are at these objective game modes. But that was last season, and now you guys got an important piece of that combination on your team. But that map number 1, it looked like they were still the same Quadrant, but you guys brought it back from a 150-point deficit. How did y'all get that done and really set the pace of the series?
Yeah, I mean, Solitude Strongholds always plays like that. You could be down 249-0. If you get 4 dead, a trip cap and camo, there's always that little belief and hope you have. So we got that moment. We were like, all right, we just need to play perfect Halo, and we can win this. And we pulled it off.
Definitely pulled it off, okay? And the crowd was going wild. It was a big momentum builder there on the stage. And then you guys go and you close it out there on Forbidden. And then one of the first times you played the map on the main stage. But Legend absolutely going off against his old squad. How proud are you for his performance there in that matchup? And how was it playing Forbidden against these guys?
I mean, yeah, Legend's an exciting player. I don't really know how to categorize him. He kind of just like doesn't miss and moves really fucking fast. I guess it's kind of like me a little bit, but probably a little bit of better shot. Yeah, I mean, he was getting loud. We're not really used to like the loudness. I'm really used to scream, but he's screaming, getting hyped, and it kind of was like getting me going a little bit. So it was pretty hype. It was awesome.
You know, it's nice to see you have a new duo on the squad that can bring that energy to you so you guys can really push past your limits. But what do you want to say to these Space Station Gaming fans in the crowd and at home? How do you want to get their energy up? What do you want them to know?
Let's keep bringing the support. I mean, I see a couple of towels out there, people over there, the Spartan right there. So just keep showing love and keep being hype, and whoever we play, just keep it loud.
Just keep it loud, and we'll see if we get you guys some more towels out there. Show some love to Space Station Gaming, and Lot, take us away.
Thank you so much, Blaze and Bound. Amazing, amazing scenes from SSG on the main stage. And I love what Bound said there about Legend, getting hype, getting loud. And I have a funny feeling maybe that series meant a little bit more to him than just a win on the board. It was obviously personal, his previous roster, playing against them on the main stage for the first time since the change. And it clearly meant a lot to him. And boy, oh boy, did he perform. But I've got to talk to you, Tim, about that first map, because my goodness me, the composure from Space Station Gaming was unmatched. The turnaround, the comeback, it was insane.
It was 246 to 121 at one point. And we're talking about a new member on the roster that has composure like that. That is incredible, and it just showcases what SSG is going to be capable of as this weekend goes on.
I know. I've got to say that I'm not too surprised that they managed to get a comeback, and that being that Legend was on the previous very strong Strongholds roster. That was Quadrant. And Tony, you know, I think right now it's his bread and butter, right? Is he gearing up the guys to know how to win this one back and take back the grip of control here?
I mean, yeah, I feel like I'm the one who shouldn't be surprised that Quadrant started off so hot in that game number 1. They were the best Strongholds team all of last year, but like you said, Legend was on that roster. He knows exactly what he needed to do, exactly where he needed to be in order to stop Quadrant right in their tracks and then putting on one of the greatest comebacks. I think Legend was phenomenal, not only in that game number 1, but all series long. He really was my MVP.
You're looking at the Strongholds here, Tim, and you can see how snowbally that can get. And that's very dangerous, dangerous territory. I mean, I've got to say, for Quadrant, starting off hot was really promising for them. How did you feel like they actually fared in this series?
I think Quadrant did incredible. We talked about SSG changing one member of their roster, but Quadrant changed too, right? They picked up Snipe Drone and Glories, and honestly, they've been looking really solid. I honestly think that, you know, in Recharge King of the Hill, they made a massive, you know, comeback, and just great job out of Quadrant overall.
Great job out of Quadrant, excuse me, overall. I've got to ask you as well about the Stellar show, Tim, while I've got you, because Stellar was performing so well this map, but I do feel like we switched over channels just ever so slightly.
Absolutely. We talked about the Stellar show yesterday all day long. You know, Wes, Tony talked about it as well, but today it seems like everyone's stepping up to the plate, and that's what you need to have, right? It just comes to that team change. You got to get, everyone's got to gel together. It takes a bit of time, and on Saturday, when it matters the most, that's when the players come to play.
Yeah, I was really impressed with what we saw from Stellar yesterday, and honestly, I expect to see more from him. But again, like I said, I think Legend really was my MVP, and I look at the most kills, the most damage, the assists were there, and also not even just static, not even just playing for the kills, but playing very good in the objective. I think Stellar definitely was a Stellar show yesterday, but like you said, maybe we flipped the channel at least for a bit.
And there were big moments as well in this final map here. Space Station managing to get the better of Quadrant at so many different occasions. And for me, I think it just comes back to your first point here as well, Active. It is composure, right? It's being able to slow the game down at certain moments and try and rework things. Because Quadrant, they were showing a lot of promise to potentially take this to a Game 5.
Yeah, I honestly think Legend had so many clutch plays on this Quadrant roster, and we talked about it before. He's got an extra reason to win, but unfortunately, at the very end of the day, it doesn't come through for the side of Legend, I should say. It does come through for the side of Legend, I apologize. I think that, you know, him clutching up like that, him playing his absolute best and showcasing, he made the right move, and it looks like he did.
Tony, when you're looking at Quadrant for the rest of their tournament, obviously they're getting bumped down here to the elimination bracket. Things looking bright for these guys to potentially go on a bit of a run.
Yeah, I mean, I still looked at Snipe Drone and Glory, and they were still able to get their kills. I look at Sika, and every time we have him on the POV, the man doesn't miss a shot. One of the players I feel like we don't talk about enough is Sika, so I saw enough from Quadrant that says that they can go down to elimination bracket. They can maybe make a bit of a run. I think Quadrant are moving the right direction. You just happen to run into the second best team in the entire world.
Now, speaking of the brackets, we do have the winners side of things here, and as you can see, FaZe 3-0 Foe, Optic 3-0 Proton Gaming, and currently Shopify Rebellion 1-0 up against Complexity. Active, I didn't have you on the desk earlier to talk about these two, but this was a matchup we were really excited about. The outcome of Shopify Rebellion being 1-up against Complexity right now. How are you feeling about the Rebellion roster? Because they're out for blood here.
Yeah, we keep talking about these team changes, and did players make the right decision? Soul Snipe, he was with that roster for such a long time, even back towards Halo 5. He made a decision to split up, and now he's on this new Shopify Rebellion roster, and they're looking dominant.
They're looking so good. And Tony, when you're looking at that, obviously one of them will meet Space Station Gaming potentially here. So who do you think lines up better against the SSG boys?
I definitely like Shopify Rebellion when it comes to the scrappiness, when it comes to that objective efficiency, but for some reason, if I'm going up against Space Station Gaming, I like Complexity's game style, their play style, and their ability to stack numbers, almost Optic-esque with the way that they approach the map and approach every single game. So when it comes to Space Station Gaming, you're not going to be able to outgun them, maybe precision, but what you can do maybe is stack numbers and find the weakness within their offense, within their defense, and I think Complexity's way of playing the game might match up better against Space Station Gaming.
All right, well, hey, hopes for Complexity to pull through against Shopify Rebellion. It's still early days in that series, folks. So the elimination bracket is set for one of those bumping down here, but as you can see, we do have Foe versus Cloud9, Proton going against Darkest Hour, Native Gaming still waiting for the outcome of the Shopify versus Complexity game, and Quadrant now being bumped down, as we saw on the main stage, going up against Law Gaming here. Which one do you think is the most competitive when you're looking across these, Tim? Who is going to be brawling for their tournament life?
I think it's Foe and Cloud9. I've talked about this Foe roster so often. I might be a little bit biased because of Wootum on mouse and keyboard, but I think Wootum and Foe have been playing phenomenal this event. It's going to be a great matchup.
It's going to be a great matchup, and speaking of that matchup, that's coming up next on the main stage. It's going to be Foe versus Cloud9, an elimination round 1. Somebody is going home, somebody is going forward, and just to remind you guys as well, on our C station, on our C stream, we do have that Shopify versus Rebellion match happening, and then on our main stream, we will be seeing Foe versus C9. We'll catch you guys on the other side of this break for more Arlington action.
Guess what? New year means a new optic scuff design for a new controller. Check out this sexy design. It's a nod to the original OG logo and a great way to rep the green wall. Choose between the Reflex for PS5, the Instinct for Xbox, and the brand new Envision for PC gaming. Guess what? Scuff saw your comments and they're now selling the faceplates separately for the Envision and the Instinct for $29.99.
Big up the Cox here. Sorry, I'm kind of busy. Kind of not. Leave a message.
Yeah, the Mega Rev boys here cinnamon. Flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best. Can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions. Trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next. Just know we got now.
HCS 2024 Kickoff Arlington Major is presented by AMD, Scuff, and Corduroys. Hello, Halo fans, and welcome back to the the 2024 HCS Kickoff Major live from Arlington, Texas, hosted by Optic Gaming. It has been fantastic so far. I've loved day 2, everything that's come with it, the competition. We just saw SSG brawl it out with Quadrant, who were trying so desperately to keep themselves alive in that series. And I gotta say, A-star for effort, but unfortunately, they didn't get it done in SSG. They will go forward in the winners bracket side of things, whereas Quadrant, they find themselves in the elimination final, the safety net of the HCS, and to see if they can keep their tournament alive. I'm joined by Tim and Tony. Lads, whew, this day is already just getting spicy. I'm getting hot up here because of all the energy in here. I'm very excited about what we have coming up next, because we do have an elimination game coming up next. We'll be saying goodbye to one of our teams on the main stage. But let's actually take a look at what we've got coming our way today, what you guys at home might have missed, because we have a lot to talk about and a lot to discuss and a lot of action coming our way as well. Of course, we did have the first 2 games today that were from pool play, and then we got through those into the championship bracket, and now we do have our main stage action. We just saw Space Station, like I said, 3-1 Quadrant, and now our elimination round 1 foe, versus Cloud9. On to our winner semifinals towards the evening. Winner semifinals again after that, and then our elimination quarterfinals, setting ourselves up for Championship Sunday. Now, onto, of course, our bracket, because our bracket has been stacking up and our bracket is looking pretty good, I would say, on the winner side of things. A couple of things going the way, I think, for the big 3, some lineups that they were really happy about, I'm sure, looking at the winners finals side of things, Tim. And then, of course, now we've got FaZe versus Optic Gaming happening soon, which is going to be an absolute battle. Tim, are you excited about that?
Oh, absolutely. We get a rematch from Worlds. I mean, these 2 teams, Optic, obviously a lot of questions, right? Is Dead Zone the right pickup for this roster? FaZe solidified. They came out swinging on Friday. They're going to continue to come out swinging on Saturday, so this is going to be a brawl.
It's going to be an absolute brawl. And Tony, we've got elimination matches happening right now. So some of our teams, they really have their back against the wall early on in day 2. How do you think some of those guys are feeling? Do you think they can handle the pressure? Are they confident they can make a run?
I really hope they can handle the pressure, because obviously the winner's bracket is important. You try to make it as far as possible, but the moment you drop down into that elimination bracket, it's simply do or die, or you're going home. So hopefully they can handle the pressure. I know some teams are used to it. Some teams, it might be their first time here.
Now we're going to move on to our main stage action, which of course is C9 versus foe. 2 teams who are really trying to get this dub across the board. And honestly, I would hope for them in a really dominant form, a dominant fashion. I think when you're this early on in an elimination bracket, you want to be showing some dominance coming across. Looking at Cloud9 though, I want to talk about what their game plan it needs to be. Who needs to be stepping up here, Tim, do you think?
Honestly, for me, it's going to be Septify. I think, his highs are high and his lows are low. I think if he can, be a consistent player here on Saturday when it matters the most. We talked about this being the elimination bracket. Obviously, whoever loses this goes home. So it's time to bring out your best gameplay, and I'm looking for Septify to do that.
I'm looking for that also indeed. I want to see some game changes in this lobby right now. I want to see some game changes on the side of C9. Tony, looking at game changes, that first map, Oddball, is going to be quite a battle. Right now, they're looking very close. Foe is 1-1, and C9 is 1-0 in Oddball currently in this major. How do you think that one's going to play out?
It's gonna be an absolute banger, as Wes would say, because you have a bread and butter for both of these teams. Both of these teams are very comfortable with slowing the game down and leaning on their teamwork, leaning on their assist when it comes to Oddball. So whoever takes this game number 1 is going to not only take momentum in the series, but take the other team's better game type, which is going to be really important.
There's also a lot riding on this map 1 for foe as well, Tim.
Yeah, honestly, foe have started really slow in map 1s. They're 1-3 in map 1s right now, so you've got to come out swinging here. You've got to put the pressure on early if you want to get this series towards your way.
Now, looking at our keyboard and mouse player, and I'm looking at you, Active,
yeah.
Of course, Wootem, he had a little bit of a shaky start on day 1, potentially, and, nerves, and I understand that completely. He's
Absolutely.
17 years old.
Yeah.
He's a keyboard and mouse player, one of the only ones we've pretty much got in the HCS. But how has he been performing on Slayers? Because I feel like if they don't manage to get it done in map 1, if they have that traditional slow start, it's all on that Slayer.
Yeah, he's in the top 10 for kills per 10 minutes. So we're talking about a mouse and keyboard player that I said on Friday could literally change the game of Halo. This is has been a controller-dominant game for 2 decades. If there's one player to convince everyone that mouse and keyboard is viable, it is Wootem. And, you know, it's a lot of pressure for a young guy, obviously the youngest player in the league now in Wootem, so we'll see how he handles that.
I love that you talk about how young he is and the fact that he's the youngest player in the HCS. Can I give a shout out to Mama Wootem? When you're young, you're trying to fight for some screen time. You gotta, you don't want to pass curfew. You got some homework to do. But Mama Wootem not only watches every single match, she hypes him up. She's on the Twitter. She watches all of it. So I will say, I love the fact that Mama Wootem supports the young star in the making, because I think that's important to a young player's development.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when you're competing in video games, you see parents kind of, be against that. But when you have parents that support you in your dream, as ridiculous as it might be to them, that is a great thing to have, especially coming into this tournament. It's going to give you a lot of confidence.
It certainly is indeed. The confidence is key, and I think experience is everything. For him to have the experience on that main stage means so much to a young player, and I actually dread to think what's going to happen for his competition as he gets older, as he gains more experience on that main stage, because he's only going to get ever better. And that's pretty scary stuff when you have a young kid who's as good as him right now, right here. I've got to ask you, Tony, a little bit about the kind of series layout and what's going on in your head there, because I do notice a streets in the series layout, and streets haven't been played by C9 or Foe. So do you think that's where maybe if C9 are having a difficult time, they can turn it around?
I believe so. I like Cloud9 when it comes to playing on street, just because if they do get cycled, by Foe, who by the way been slaying phenomenally, if you end up spawning over toward the subway side, lots of times teams are a little bit slower to collapse on that subway because there's so much cover. So I will say I do like Cloud9 on streets, at least when it comes to being able to recover after getting slayed. The only problem is that if Foe do slay them out and move them towards PD, move them towards Red Room, towards Cafe, those are death spawns. Those are not where you want to be, and that's for either one of these squads. So streets can be punishing, but you also have the ability to slow the game down to your pace depending on where you spawn.
Tim, do you think we're going to be going all the way to a Game 5 here, or do you see Foe potentially edging things out a bit earlier on? Yeah,
honestly, it depends on who comes out swinging first, right? It's going to be about who plays their best in that very first game. Foe have to break that 1-3 curse that they have in Game 1s. They've got to come out swinging, like I said. I think that's very important to this series. And of course, Wootem doing his job, making sure to put that damage down is going to be a huge factor.
It's going to be a huge factor, and I cannot wait to see that happen on our main stage, which will be happening very shortly, folks. Don't you worry. We got Foe versus C9 on the main stage. Elimination match, our first round. Who'll go through? Who'll fall short? Let's meet your teams.
Welcome back, Arlington. It's Clutch. I'm next to Dave Walsh himself. And Dave, it's Saturday, it's getting late in the afternoon, and that's when the elimination bracket starts. Teams are going to get sent home a lot earlier than what they had hoped for. And we have a banger of a series on our hands. Cloud9 versus Foe, the #1 team in Europe, doing their job at this point as far as coming in as the #1 seed, getting second in their pool. They got 3-0'd by FaZe in the winner's bracket, but they have probably the bracket that they would want, trying to get into the top 8, which are probably their expectations for this tournament. Do you think this Foe team has looked well enough to get into that top 8 in this series?
They have looked strong. Now, I don't think that they're a guaranteed advance here. I do favor Foe in this matchup. However, like you said, I haven't seen enough throughout this weekend from them to say that they're the clear winner in this series.
And as we load into game one, it's been a completely different road path for Cloud9, coming all the way through the open bracket, taking down Sentinels this morning.
We were hyping up Sentinels, and for good reason. They've shown up so well throughout all the qualifiers. They were a clear third best team after those open qualifiers, and every single team in pools was able to catch them and take them down yesterday and today.
All right, on board with Septify. Early kills getting traded out. It looks like Cloud9 had a momentary advantage, but a 2-on-2 situation. Camo going to be spawning a little late, so these kills are so important. Cloud9 opting to try and get that ball into house, but it does look like Foe are set up for this camouflage.
And Diagram getting that big pick onto Jimbo. And like you said, they got the camo, they got the ball rotated over. Well, you know, even though that ball has traversed so far, they are now just getting their first seconds. See how much they prioritize rotating the ball versus scrapping them a few seconds on the way over?
Perfect start. Camo, snipe in the hands of Tusk. You got ball in hand as well, starting to build a lead here in round one, but the enemy forces have pushed through house. Tusk needs to realize this and help his ball carrier.
And this could be a scary time. Bringing that ball all the way over towards the window in Garage is a double-edged sword. It can be a very powerful place to guard and hold, but once you lose that setup, the opposing team has it. You can't play ball from there.
Tusk picks up that kill. All four go down for Foe. The lead continuing to build. The Slays continuing to grow. The differential for Cloud9 is massive right now. They are dominating the early game.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen this ball rotate further. It looks like it got over towards Keydor, but it has been stopped. The push coming in from Foe. Can they stop it one more time? And these last couple battles are going to decide everything. It decides the next coming spawns, decides who can get 15 seconds of time, and it looks like Foe come out ahead in that engagement.
It was looking ugly for a second, and another round of Slays. This round could have been pretty much over, but Cloud9 only get 27 points with the entire power curve and the amount of Slay differential that they had. You will take that if you're Foe. Let's see now what Foe can do with the setup. Wu-Tum doing Wu-Tum things, snapping onto players left, right, and that ball should be back in their hand.
And look at this difference between how Foe has the ball versus Cloud9. Foe, once they had their setup, they decided, where are we going to push this next? They cleared out green, they brought the ball over towards green, so now when they lose control, they can hit a play ball there, and now it's a tie game, ball on even territory.
And you will take that if you're Foe every day of the week with how this game started out. Second camouflage coming up here shortly. Let's see who's got the best position for it.
Taking a quick look at the kills across the board, we have 13 kills total for Foe, with 8 in the hands of Woodham. We had some questions yesterday. Was he looking a little shaky? Was he not playing up to his fullest potential? Well, right here, when his team needs the most, he is putting those numbers up on the board.
Especially for a Foe team that has been noted by the desk to start slow. 1 and 3 is not how you can start your game ones, especially when you enter the elimination bracket. Every game is going to count. So they've done a good job to rebound here. Diagram under a lot of pressure in the house. Got a teammate with him, but here comes Foe.
Yeah, however, despite Woodham playing very well, we're seeing an even game. Generally, if I'm playing on a team and I feel like I'm going off or one of my teams is going off, I want to see a massive increase in the score in our favor, not just keeping pace with Cloud9.
So far, great starts from Tusk and Diagram over on the side of Cloud9. Diagram, one of the triplets. You know, suppressed over on Shopify Rebellion. This is his trip brother, one of his trip brothers. I guess is that the term? Either way, a very talented player of his own. Septify, a player that has been very impressive for Cloud9. Now with snipe in hand, spots the player top middle, knocks him to no shield. Can't quite finish a kill, can't hit the shot under the ball carrier. Narrow misses like that can cost you rounds.
Is that true? Triplet? That is incredible.
Avon is the third if you want.
I can only imagine how incredible or also how difficult that would be a team with if all were on the same squad. You're like, hey guys, things aren't going well. Who are we maybe getting rid of? And all of a sudden,
if we have to fill, I got some stories for you. But back to focus on round one. The body shot from Septify is good. That's going to give him numbers advantage. The second makes it easy for Sept. A player that's been making a name for himself since Halo 5. This could be the best team he's ever been on, and an opportunity to get inside the top 8 with this series. Chick's going to be rotating the ball around back tower. Does get knocked to no shield, but once again, another Foe player escapes with his life, and that's rewarded with ball time.
Such a brilliant play there by Chick. It's sometimes do or die in that situation. Do you fight it out? And instead, he got 10 seconds of time, has control of back tower, and has drawn all these members of Cloud9 out into disarray. Not sure if they have to take over tower, and here comes the push towards tower, but kills being scooped up left and right here for Foe.
2 go down for Foe now. Cloud9 able to trade it out efficiently. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Camo coming up here in a little bit. Ramey getting the kill towards the ball now. Spots check. A lot of information Ramey's getting for his team, but that ball getting grenaded out into the open is going to make this difficult. You got to select.
And look at what Ramey does. Rather than just trying to desperately grab that ball and bring it towards Keydor, he takes up more ground and more space, staying true to his name, charging right in towards scoreboard, and just taking up that extra space to give his teammates space to play around.
Camouflage gets burned for the 2nd time in a row, but with that, Cloud9 pick up the kills. They get the ball in hand. They look to tie this up.
Let's see, where does Ramey decide to take this? He knows the push is coming down through tunnels. Decides to just charge in against Woodham. Luckily gets that kill. Sometimes you can be baited into a trap there as the other teams are pushing over from Garage or Keydor.
I love this rotation by Ramey. He's taking it to green. The information's good. Teammates are respawning there. He can't turn the corner, though, and that is one of those moments where you could have racked up some significant time if you're able to drop down in that hole. Cloud9 do pick up that ball. It's a play ball from Cloud9. Beautiful job by that last player at green from Cloud9, but Jimbo is on the respawn to pick this up. It's denied by Septify with the double, and that's the importance of playing the ball.
Oh, triple kill by Septify. They had the kills on the board. They were there for the ball. And Septify takes down all 4 for the overkill.
An overkill here for Septify in round 1. And he's been having a great tournament so far for Cloud9. You're seeing the reason why he is on fire right now. Those 4 kills give you a complete setup. 2 spawn towards green. 1 does make it to pillars, but a trade in that situation is disgusting.
Yes, Septify so far has had a 1.32 KD and 11.3 assists for every 10 minutes. This has been the 2nd highest in the HCS, so he's been getting active, getting a lot of fights, and it's no surprise we watch his screen and seen him secure kills like that, especially when it's not like his whole team is right there. It's not like just a bunch of cleanups.
Still a 12-point lead for Cloud9. The slay differential right now, 52-39. Cloud9 are starting to outslay Foe, but maybe not resulting in too much ball time. That overkill sure helps from Septify, but now ball in the hand of Tusk. Foe will have 1 push here to successfully break this to keep round 1 alive.
This is such an interesting spot to be in. Seeing how much time is left, it's do you scrap up this time and clear up to 100? Do you just drop the ball and slay? And it looks like they don't have much of a choice. All 4 members of Cloud9 go down. They play ball, but Foe able to grab that ball and rotate it back.
I said Foe had 1 chance to break this setup. They break the setup. They get the ball played. They get the ball in hand. Now Cloud9 in a very similar situation. If you do not break this setup, the clock will run out. After Foe get the lead, they will play time.
Look at this. Mighty realizing he needs to get damage. He also needs to get time. When does he decide to play ball? And it's played
they're down
a little bit early. They still do not have the extra second. And you know, all eyes are going to be on the tunnel. Septify coming from pillar side. Someone over at dummy doors. And everyone's going to congregate in the bottom middle for this last little fiasco. 77 apiece. Ball gets picked up by Diagram. Does he get that last second? Yes, he does. 78 guards the ball. And a nail biter there for round 1. 1 point difference there between Cloud9 and Foe, despite a 12-kill difference in Cloud9's favor.
What a chaotic ending to that first round. Everyone get your rear, bottom, middle. It's going to be a brawl, and Cloud9 end up taking control of that ball in the last second to gain the lead. Now we kick off round 2, and we're on board with Woot.
It was just so funny seeing those last few seconds, just knowing every single person can go down there.
No matter where you spawn, get down.
No matter what, it's going to be, all right, key door, you can come through tunnel, you can go through dummy door, pillar door. One of those 4 spots, everyone's congregating around.
Everyone throw your nades and pray is what's going on. Cloud9, their prayers were answered. They win round 1, and they have started off round 2 with another lead. Snipe and ball in the hands of Diagram. You want to trade this out, but Camo also in control of Cloud9.
This seems similar to last time. Cloud9 gets the snipe, Cloud9 gets the camo, Cloud9 brings the ball over towards the garage window.
Tusk.
Now we're going to see them potentially get the kills and rotate it out, or are they going to just hold this setup like they did last time?
Tusk maybe not too much success with camo snipe the first round. Let's see what he can do. Finds the first kill. A lot of pressure on your ball carrier. A good body shot to potentially allow Septify an opportunity to jump into that window, pick up the kill. That's exactly what happens. Cloud9 setup stays strong with this camo snipe.
Stays strong, but I would love to see them get the kills rotated out. You kind of have 2 options here. 1, do you clear out garage, clear out green, and rotate towards that side? Or 2, once you realize they're all spawning green, I guess if you're going to kill them like that, you can do whatever you want. But once they're all spawning green, you do have the opportunity to push it through towards scoreboard / silo and bring it up towards tower. But it feels like Cloud9 opt to just continue to hold this window, and I wonder if it's going to play out well for him. So far, it is.
Big Dog Tusk having himself a game. 21, 11, and 9. He's had a lot of power-ups and power weapons to do it with, but that shows you that he is focused on controlling those power-ups and power weapons, and he is doing work with it. It's a 35-3-point lead. Both have their first setup of round 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great starting hold there by Cloud9. Anytime if you can get 30-plus points, you start to get the mindset that, all right, we're a little bit of scrapping of time here and there. They just only need one or so more setups with all those neutral game periods. The only downside that I'm seeing there from Cloud9 strategy is they give up the ball in the garage where foe have an opportunity to match the setup.
39-10 right now. Ball out by Green, so you can guarantee the ball is going to be played. Likely guarantee, I should say. Speaking from example, camouflage is coming up. Something that foe has not had an opportunity yet is an actual camo play. Every time they've gotten it, it's been burned almost immediately. Mighty's trying to get away with his life. A beautiful repulse to top mid keeps him alive, but I do believe Cloud9 were in position to pick up that camo.
They're able to pick up this camo, but this whole entire time, nobody's close enough towards Green. The difficulty about this Green setup here that's going to be happening here for Cloud9 is not only do they have to get the kills, they have to bring a significant amount of people over towards the back of Green in order to secure that area and force them to play ball in.
Similar to the situation on Recharge when the ball is back blue, you got to go all the way back across the map
all
to get
the way
the ball.
over there, then you gotta come back, and pretty much the opposing team are gonna have more favorable spawns and just pulled so much time and resources. So just from that one setup alone from foe, we're back to a near even game.
Right, you can see Cloud9's prioritization on the camouflage, but in the meantime, that ball time was important. In the meantime, Diagram hits the no-scope for the double. It lands a body shot that he can't quite clean up. A beautiful grenade by Jimbo there. Rami is the last player alive for Cloud9. He's in position to grab the ball, play the ball, hit some good shots, but one, not enough. As Jimbo's able to get a couple of kills to break that Cloud9 setup, keeping this round manageable.
Yep, sniped in the hands of Jimbo. Let's see what he can do with this power weapon. Gets the body shot on Diagram, but not going to be enough. Woodham's going to come in, get that finish. Woodham starting off strong so far in this game, but so active. 24 kills, 24 deaths. Most, we call that an active player.
Yeah, right now it's Jimbo and Mighty's in the KD ratio that really need to figure it out so far here in round 2. If they want foe to erase the story that they start series off a little slow. Cloud9, however, everybody breaking the 20 kill mark. Everybody has some ball time, well spread out, well played by the entire team as a cohesive unit, and that is the difference so far here for me in game 1. Round 2 still, just 10 points separate the two. The ball being rotated out by scoreboard, but Rami shuts that rotation down himself.
Yeah, and ball is exactly where Cloud9 would like it, in the garage, but it looks like they opt to now take over towards tower. I really like this play. When you have an option to bring a ball towards a location where you could potentially play ball in, I love having that option in your back pocket. It looks like they're kind of sitting here in the center towards Plasma's cuts and deciding where the pressure's coming in. Putting the ball inside foe's court to charge and push where they want, but there it is. Very successful push from foe. They get the kill, and once again, get the ball immediately from Cloud9. Out of majority of Cloud9 setups, we're not seeing a play ball scenario.
Very difficult to hold that unorthodox cut setup. Foe are able to break it now. Can Foe hold a setup is the big question. Continuously playing from behind is not a way to live your life here in this game.
Yeah, one thing I also like about that, the ball over towards Plasmas is I feel like you have to fake towards one way or the other. You can't just stay static in that spot. It's not a very strong position to hold. However, if you have your ball carrier start to run over towards tower and then just double back towards scoreboard or the reverse of that, in some way trying to fake out the spawning team so that they can overcommit towards one of the directions and then you get a more successful ball rotation.
Cloud9 get the kills, they get the ball back in hand. 3 go down for foe, and they're going to try and rotate this out towards this camo. There's one player to deal with. He's dealt with very quickly. 3 members of Cloud9 focus on Wootum there. Wootum shortly lived. This ball getting rotated to House could end this game.
A similar setup again. Cloud9 just holding us some plasmas. Now they're rotating it towards the scoreboard, but this is not going to be good unless they get the kills. There's 3 down. Septify, the last one alive. And you can only expect so much out of a single player. So we're going to see what he does here. Looks like
that's
Septify takes down 1. and is now a thorn in the side of foe. They cannot comfortably hold this setup until Septify is dealt with.
Get your kill, stay alive, Septify. That's exactly how he's playing it. Perfectly done by him. To get that kill in a 1v4 situation is massive because it makes the setup of foe so weak. Septify continuing to stay alive bottom middle. The reinforcements now for Cloud9 are here. They have ball in hand and need 8 points to win.
This could have been a complete different last 15 seconds if Septify didn't play it the way he did. Scrap those last couple points. Tusk somehow gonna scrap those out and secure a 2-0 ball victory here in game number 1.
Okay, Bo, you started off slow in pool play. You made it this far. That could be the crux that sends you home if you continue to play. Game 2 is a must-win in my opinion, but Cloud9 in this game 1 looks so clean. It was done by everyone, and as we take a look at the stats, Dave, 26, 26, 26, 24 for everyone involved. That is the definition of consistency from the entire squad.
Yeah, everyone pulling their exact weight. Only really outstanding stat in there outside of those teams is Tusk's deaths and assists.
The big dog himself.
Not dying nearly as much, kind of in cleanup duty, cleanup crew, and doing it right. You know what? At the end of the day, if someone doesn't have low deaths, they better be a part of all the fights in my eyes. And seems like Tusk was there when he was needed.
When you get the camos and you get the snipes, you're likely to have more opportunity. With that opportunity, Tusk was able to pop off, and I am a big Tusk fan, have been since the
And the hot dog stand is open for business. Insight on the backline, can't get any more. Ghosty and Krem the feed. Pressure now on Scrap. How many can you take with you? Just one. Envoy wins the fight. That's Toronto Ultra's hard point still.
I just don't talk to. Yeah, Krem gets that extra one, and maybe he could have, you know, slightly gotten back in the game. Not too shabby on the score front for the moment. LA Thieves certainly want to keep the pressure, keep these players at bay. Nasty doing a good job just staying alive, slowing these guys down, but eventually Ultra able to make that break. They're going to have a 40-second lead going towards New, and Envoy already taking a route with Kleenex, potentially thinking about flipping those spawns. And you see where Ghosty's dying on the map as well, so LA having to look so many directions at the same time. The pressure for Toronto, though, is still going to be working the flanks. Insight pierces his way through boxes, just thinking about that contest.
There it is. Dips a toe. They know where it's coming from. The Thieves pounce. 3 in the feed. Time still going their way. Toronto not too far away as reinforcements go. But number 4 is going to be the man to cause some problems. Crimp, though. The 4 spree is done. Afro now back on the stair line. Quick contest, in and out. Ultra keeping the LA Thieves on their toes. Nice shots out of Afro. Gets the second as well. 25 to go here on third. You'll take all that time if you can. A big win from Envoy. He might be able to nick the deck 20.
I mean, everything for LA was so good up until they don't get that one trade. Still had the opportunity to fight back on this time, but you just see the amount of damage output that Ultra are doing even when they're falling. And from Ultra, they got what they wanted. They do flip the spawns. You might not get that scrap time, and LA Thieves might have sort of evened up the score count, but you do want to be spawning on the left side of the map for this hill, but they don't have boxes controlling Afro, continuing to piece, slowing these players down, and Ghosty next man in line. He feels like the guarantee for the Thieves squad to get those trades. It's happening all over the map. LA Thieves nice and stable on this P4.
Great shots as well. Dan Ghosty. His hard point's all his. There's Kremp. He's finding the time. Bit of a pinch now from Ultra. Lead change. LA Thieves back in this one. Kleenex is going to send it. Easy trades here for the LA Thieves boys. If they're able to make the play or push their way forward. Oh no, Insight gets his. Nasty's been pushed out of the hill now. Ultra have swarmed in, and that's a late break and a 20 solid second bit of time to have there.
And Insight's so good too. It's like so uncomfortable to play against him because you know he's just going to be L-triggered, but when you feel the pressure from his teammates in like the backside of your spawn flanking, well, you're forced to make a move. You run into his irons. It is a dangerous place to be. Even now, Ultra are just setting up a gargantuan pinch. Envoy taking the ultimate route. He takes down Ghosty, and well, the players on time are just food for fodder. Everybody getting wiped off the map, and that is a literal perfect break coming out of Toronto Ultra. Envoy able to pick up 4. Insight on a 4 spree as well.
Yeah, look at this. Kleenex on the prowl now, looking for these players off spawn. Tags in a Ghosty. Enough to cause a bit of discourse in the lines of the LA Thieves. No stick. Over to the hard point, they go. Scrap takes care of Krem. Envoy now on the low side of the hard point. He's on a bit of a spree. It's a 6, comes to a close. Lovely work, though. He has the cruise.
The crew's gonna come in a pretty big impact on quite a few of these hills, so easy to utilize. We'll see how they can pay off with it, but even without the crews for the moment, this has been a beautiful hold of this hardpoint hill. They have run the score up, and again, it all started off the back of just a monster pinch coming in from Envoy, so game-winning plays for the moment, albeit just for a 50-point lead on the reset, but staying ahead of the game, Ultra, they are going to be the first team to the new top.
Massacre across the map. The LA Thieves, they mop up the remaining defending players of Toronto Ultra from these old points, but Envoy, oh my god, he's got another pair. 18 and 10, still with the crews to play. Magnificent work out of Toronto Ultra. Let's go for a listen in.
Help, me, I have time. Nice. Up and shot. There's two here. Yeah, I have you close, run up. Huge for you, Crimps one shot. There's two in here. I'll come get it. That's absolute. Both there. It's all good. What's time of you now? Yeah, and then one security. Two shots to you. Shop weak. Three at old. No right now. Push shot cat maybe? Stun me? Yeah, yo, bathrooms. Bathrooms? Yep. They're playing out. Top at skis too. He could have pinched bathrooms. Yeah, I think he did. Good shot. Bathrooms dead. Nice. I'm gonna hit front. Yeah, we should hit front fast. We're gonna hit up me. Shop at me. Shop at me. Dead. I'm absolutely still. Last one. I'm just giving him up, bro. That's fine. Shoot one spawning here. Calf now. Still not there. I'm going deep pinch just in case. One in the back of me. Stun him in the back. Yeah. One shot dead. I'm one shot. One more. Close. Shop, one shot. Still back there. That shop absolutely. Shop and hold, I think. Shop still pushed out. I might spawn front of us. Never mind. A cap then. I'll hold pinch. Dark. Shop now. Shop in. Dead. Nice dark too. Ghosty. Looking at it. Once we gate. Don't try me half full. Spawn. Good time. Not close. That's it. Time. Spawn behind the jello. Gate. It's already out. Half full dead. Gate. Dead. Map soup. One half full on the left side. One shot. I'm so weak. It's push. Ghosty on the half wall. I'm soaking. Yo, he dropped down, bro. Crimp shot. Crimp on top dog. Nice. Keep sliding. Got dog now. I'm holding the big right now. Dog dead. Nice. I'm playing new. I just want to one here. Yeah, I had a crop shot. Stun me. One shot on the half wall. Laying down. Two. One jumping up top and then one close left. Dead. One more. I'm going new, bro. He's on the half wall again. Still not pushed. Nice. We more. I spawned pretty deep. I have a tree. One already whale. We went new. I just one garage. I'm making him so up, bro. Yeah. Already. I can hit like yellow. Deep whale and one cross caution. That's one garage. Like whale is absolutely dead. After here as well, no? One more stun, caution. Caution window, there's two. In caution, weak. Nothing will blood. Nothing mid. All four.
And Toronto Ultra with the fantastic comms there, continuous problem solving in this ever-shifting Rubik's Cube that is Rio.
And now it's just like, well, the bigger problem for LA to solve, you got to break this setup down. It is going to be absurdly difficult. Problem for LA to solve.
On the streets.
All right, Street Slayer. Like we said, the name of the game. We had big games from everybody on Cloud9. I'm looking to Chick right now with probably the highest ceiling on this foe roster to really step up and start making plays because your back is against the wall. You have such ambitions to accomplish some of the things you were able to with that quadrant roster last year. But times have changed, teams have changed, names have changed. And this Cloud9 roster has no intention of going out easy. In fact, they look like a new Cloud9 roster that is bound to place in the top 8 if they're consistently playing at the level we just saw. But consistency is the name of the game. You got to do it across the best of 5. And that's what gives foe a little bit of hope because they've started so slow. Tuss, the player on screen, the guy from game 1 with the best KD ratio. Let's see what he can do to kick this one off.
Yeah, Tusk laying down some shots over towards the B side. Looks like one falling down a piece there in the forms of Rami and Woodham. Stalk rifle in the hands of Tusk, and this game playing a lot slower than expected for so many fast and aggressive players. Looks like everyone is just posturing for position, making sure they don't want to overextend and go into any unknown areas. They want to get a little more info across the map before making a play. Mighty snagging that camo, and he get away with it. Looks like Mighty does get away with it. He has the Bulldog, gets a double kill, take out Diagram and Septify. Now, where are the spawns coming in for Cloud9? Because this could be a scary time here for Cloud9 if they all spawn in one spot and foe decide to collapse in.
In all of game 1, foe were not able to really accomplish a successful camo grab and get away. Right now, Mighty's doing the most that foe has done with camo the entire series so far. 3-0, a great double kill with the Bulldog. It's still in his back pocket. He's got that tool to use. It can be so difficult to work with.
And look at that flank there from Rami, just doing a little loop-de-loop over to Dumpster, getting over towards Commando and shooting those 2 players in the back. So what looked like it was the start of a great collapse from foe just got stopped completely. All of Cloud9 chose a direction, they chose driveway, they ran straight through it, and they equalized kills. That's a great trade during that situation. Sure, going 2 for 2 doesn't sound fantastic, but when you're all spawned in one location, if you can trade kills and get out of that without getting all 4 down, I count that as a win in my book.
This game now all tied up as Mighty's picks up that kill. The game's gonna slow down. Everybody on Cloud9 spawning in tram. I actually want to hop into a listen-in with Cloud9 and hear how this team is able to communicate out of this difficult situation.
Red one shot. One shot, yeah, what's
Okay, camel stars.
Hey, red room. Stuck red on this.
Okay, I spawn cafe. One side in.
One shot red. If you have any.
Camo's trash. Camo's trash. Going Meadow.
Oh, that's Jay.
Meadow, Camel. Trash.
Yo, 2B, 1-3 up. He's going arcade. I should look real.
Can we hit purple? Yeah, find the one.
Don't give it up. Don't give it up.
I'm ready.
Purple. Wait, 18 guys. And front guys. Top it. Two purple.
Sorry. Watch out.
18 was on. What's on?
Logic go charge, I think.
Purple. He's purple, guys.
Listen, they're gonna spawn B after this.
What's on? Purple.
You on me? I traded. No, red bar, front seat. He's on the pillar.
Watch your back seat. Oh, bottom seat. Drop it.
PD. Just back in.
Okay.
Shut the win it. Still just up there.
Olive.
Come on. That's spot. Lockers.
And P1, listen. P1's Mighty's.
Where's he going?
He's down the ramp.
I have nothing to see it. They're gonna be like B-side. Yo, one's bottom it. One's B stairs.
One.
Watch purple, Jay. Watch purple.
Kind of playing it.
They have a bulldog. Yo, shots up. Yo, one's bottom it. China, guys. Benches.
Okay.
Heaven. One shot. One shot back in. I'm blinking.
One purple.
Watch out.
Purple.
I got three.
What's purple?
Last guy.
Chinese. I'm dead. I'm not dead. I'm
Most of
good.
you guys, look for this shit.
Yo, we spawn purple. They're gonna be heavy. Yo, watch punters. I have shot for this.
Yo, I have shot too.
Top of Mighty's.
Yo, don't get. We're risking on.
I'm taking too much damage.
Good, clean communication out of Cloud9. You could hear the names being called out. The second camouflage, third camouflage about to pop here, bottom middle of the control. It's split about half and half right now, but T-Chick able to get away with that camouflage. Foe once again dominating the power-up story here in the game 2.
Yeah, I'm like split on that comms. Oh my god, not sure which target to hit. Unfortunately, trades the melee there, and Chick just desperately trying to stay alive. But the kills are all secured. As I was saying though, when it comes to those comms, oh my god, Woodham getting a triple kill out of that whole madness scenario. When it comes to those comms, when I'm hearing just non-stop calling out where people are at, I feel like that can be most beneficial when your team has a strong advantage. At that point, you're trying to secure where people are at and finish off kills. However, I don't feel like it's as advantageous when you're trying to set up specific pushes or you're on the back foot. Instead, I want to hear more coordination of, I'm with you, I'm pushing this direction, we're pushing towards this side. And it felt like Cloud9's communication didn't change, no matter which situation they were in.
I can agree with that, but one thing I did like as of note as this game continues past the close to the 30 kill mark here is the fact that they were saying each other's names as to who should respond to what. Jake, front A one-shot Jake. That immediately tells you, like, when you hear that, that immediately tells you I need to be the one that looks like I'm in a position that can capitalize on that because your teammates can see exactly where you are from their death cam. So I like that adaptation from Cloud9, that opportunity for efficiency there. But right now, we got to talk about Foe. They're having much more success here in Game 2, a 32-26 lead. A lot of it has to do with the control of the power weapons and power-ups so far. And it feels like ever since they've been able to contain one of those, they've been able to stroll it into map control and continue that snowball effect.
Yeah, they've been able to, like you said, kind of roll those advantages one into the other and hold on to this essential 6-kill lead for a while. Foe going to be completely happy if they can kind of trade this out and make sure they don't get on the back foot. But that's where Foe gets into a tricky situation. We saw it all throughout yesterday. Foe, in many cases, were able to kind of hang with a squad like SSG. However, once they got to an all-4 down and they're on that back foot, they do not know how to mitigate those losses as well as some of these other top teams.
Uh-oh, Dave. First camouflage of the game for Cloud9. All of a sudden, just a 2-kill lead. You blink, and the lead that was once 7 kills for Foe now immediately erased. 35 to 35. What can we do with the camo? Cloud9 says we can tie this up. Bulldog is going to be on respawn. Good information from Diagram. You know he's giving that to his teammate, but he wants to make a play with this camo.
I like that play. He says one of his other teammates can grab that weapon, and he's going to try to get up close and personal. But Mighty's getting a crucial kill on that player. I just don't think Diagram was expecting to take that damage that quickly because of that stalker.
You turn the corner, you see 3 members, one of them having red gun. You are deleted in this meta, as Diagram found out the hard way. Foe able to jump back into a 3-kill lead for now. Trades are a blessing for Foe right now. 40 to 37, 3 players spotted purple. Not a great fight for Cloud9 right now. They need to get out of dodge. Wutum's gonna stay alive here. Good information, good control of the red gun. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, one thing that's also interesting, you notice how quick Wutum's looking across the map. I also feel like he's just a little quick to jump in situations. Maybe an additional jump or unnecessary jump.
You know that space bar is just so close.
Yeah, I guess it's just so easy to hit, but yeah, I feel like there's certain times where he's jumping on top of a gen, and then I feel like sometimes there's just an extra jump, and I'm not sure if that is just his style of play, or sometimes he's just interested in using that elevation advantage if somebody's coming right around the corner there, because that's going to be a spot that he's going to be able to excel in fights.
Wutum holding down this cafe area. They're playing for this camouflage that's spawning up here shortly. Cloud9 opting to push the arcade side of the map. Good information from Wutum, good damage. Once again stays alive. It's up to the rest of Foe. What can they do? Trading kills. Once again, a very positive effect. 46 to 43 go down for Cloud9, and I believe Foe will have camo to play around as well.
Call for it down. You see Wutum already putting damage on the spawn, getting the 3-shot melee on the Diagram. Good and bad, because right now, I don't think Foe know where members of Cloud9 are spawning. They spot the first spawner, traded kills, and sometimes that can throw spawns in disarray. I know sometimes throughout this current bandit start, we've been seeing some disorienting spawns, but especially when you're fighting that first spawner, you can only expect first spawns out.
Wutum doesn't get the kill, but that damage was crazy. And the fact that he stayed alive, Foe get the job done, and just like in pool play, this team seems to wake up only for game 2s as they tie this series up.
A massive, massive victory there for Foe, especially as it started off a little scary in certain situations. But what's more important is that they closed it out. They got that 6-kill lead. Even when it bounced back there for Cloud9, they were able to reel it right back. I love that entry photo there for Wutum too. Just showing off a keyboard saying, I got a different peripheral.
Yep. There's a new sheriff in town, Wutum says. 11, 10, and 9 for the kid, but it was really everybody doing their piece here. Even Chick with 10 assists, you'll take that every day of the week. Foe really had control of that entire game from the jump, it felt. And that first camouflage, I feel like, was everything to get the ball rolling and say, oh yeah, these power-ups, they end up being pretty important.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the only time we really saw Cloud9 kind of get into a scary position is when they got that camo. We saw that 6.
An exploding propane tank, and it's Envoy, last man standing, somehow gets the 2nd kill. Afro too busy running, not getting the trades. And for what could be the first 1 versus 4, I believe, of the year, here's Dylan Envoy.
Oh! Nearly. I was hesitant to say anything there, but Ghosty Nose of Steel keeps it all together. LA Thieves bounce back, but hey, man, yet to get a true 1v4, true ace in that regard. The spiciest of possible. Tons, though, we've seen in our CDL ranked play clips. Keep those coming in, folks. CDL TV's absolutely popping. Thieves, though, good looks out of them. Let's see if they can keep it going.
And on the flip side for Ultra, this is only their 2nd time they've played this map. They might have forgot about that massive exploding propane tank. It can be a problem from time to time. So what a first blood there from Dan Ghosty in the previous round. And yeah, if I'm Kleenex, blow up the barrel. See if you can get free too.
I feel like we all forget about it, you know, and it hits at the worst possible times, especially here in Search. And here goes another one. Afro. Oh, God. Oh, no. It's such a nightmare. Well, it's a 4v2. Kleenex technically gets the first blood. Massive advantage here for Ultra in the attacking round. Ghosty desperately trying to level it up. Not going to happen.
Oh, my God.
Pain in the arse. A colossal pain in the arse. Get that checked.
These boys are shooting too. I think Dylan Envoy might deserve the credit for that first blood on the. I think Nasty got it, but it looked like that nade was an absolute peach. So
yeah,
whether it be your team that gets the credit for the kill or Envoy, maybe good news takes one away for him if he was going to be playing for the cruise missile. But either way, absurdly dominant round on the attack there from Ultra. Guns are singing sweet, and Envoy, a map that you imagine can certainly be his playground. He has been thriving thus far. Right now from Ultra, dodge massive exploding tanks. LA, keep those nades up.
Any more propane shenanigans in this map, Marvin? Oh yeah, we might get it. Scrap.
Now this one's safe. You can be right next to this massive exploding barrel and it's perfectly fine, but if you're far away from the other one, that's a problem.
How dare you? Don't be too far away from Afro though. 2 HP and a big win here in the round. He gets himself 2. Nasty. He and Afro now versus Envoy and Kleenex. It is a submachine gun Rival 9 throwdown here on High Rise. Bomb soon to be recovered. Hopefully. There we go, and Afro now. Oh, I think Envoy may have caught wind of the play. This could be a deciding kill. And that should be the round. Take it back, Nasty's. He's got himself an MCW. Oh dear. Here's a moment of shenanigans chance. I do believe Envoy saw him though. No, he didn't.
No, they absolutely saw him. They have to know.
Do they?
Maybe they didn't. That's actually unreal.
Unbelievable. He's going to get this plant down. Nasty now puts himself in a situation where he might be able to get this done. Guns up at the ready, son. I hope you're at least in a position to take these fights.
There goes the propane tank, so he's got out. Yeah, they have no intel. This is super doable.
Byron Plumridge has gone for a bit of a walkabout. Less than 30 seconds to go. Ah! Kleenex with the MCW. Perfect timing. The right weapon in the right place. Envoy there for the defuse. A moment there from Nasty to turn things around massively for the LA Thieves. NT go next.
Yeah, just maybe slightly less ready for that gunfight than Kleenex was. So even with no information, just checking everything. Fantastic centering, fantastic awareness. And I got to say, Nasty has some of the best player reactions. Anytime he dies, he is always snapping all the way back in his chair. But that is the difficulty of playing against a team like Toronto. Even when the odds sort of work out for you, 1v2 seeming like a near impossibility. Even with Ultra struggles, their conversion rate in these rounds always fantastic when they get that man advantage.
Yeah, they're learning very quickly about how to play high-rise S&D. Envoy with the mid-map coverage in case anyone gets a little bit antsy in mid and feels like taking that route. Perfect spread there across the map there from the Thieves boys on defense. Ultra stacking over towards A, waiting for a little bit of action. No fake smokes, no fake nades, just waiting for the gunny. Hello. This might be our first blood. Krem trying to stay alive. It's Scrap with the MCW at range. Wonderful damage, not enough for the kill. 50 to go.
It's also just about the only information Ultra has. Everybody else on LAT have been very stagnant, so tough to read on these corners. Now you know Ghosty's in the back, but you see the spot Nasty's put himself in. If he ever gets the call out, they're planning on B. Nasty will swoop in with a free kill, and if you go down B Street, it might also be free. Envoy near bomb. Afro gets the kill, so the spots right now still on point.
Brilliant work there. The hit and run from the
started. You have to now say we're in a best-of-3 scenario. We got to take this next game, put the pressure on them for games 4 and 5.
Jimbo having a blast, got the boys laughing, maybe cool, calm, collected.
I mean, Jimbo's got to be, what, the most veteran player here from the EU.
Jimbo's like 42
region.
years old or something. He's been competing longer than you.
Want to feel old? I turned 40 this year.
Oh, no.
I literally turned 40 this year.
That's terrifying. I'm 34. I have no hair. I see Wootum up there just glowing in the wind. Jealousy is all I can have for the kid as he's starting to make a name for himself. Cloud9. The Game 2 Rocky is the big question. This is a team that I feel like so often throughout Halo Infinite the past 2 years has gotten top 12, has had much more difficult matchups than I would say Foe is probably for their top 8 matchup. It's usually they're playing Sentinels or Native Gaming of the past. A very difficult team to try and overcome to get that top 8 placing. This is probably a winnable series in their eyes.
This is, yeah, on paper, a squad that you would like to play in this scenario. Both these teams look at each other and say, this is a beatable team.
Yes, like if we want to do well, these are the series we have to win.
Yep.
You find yourself tied up 1-1, game 3, recharge, strongholds, camo control has dictated the first 2 outcomes of the series. It's going to play an important role here, and if you can pair it with that shock rifle, you can do some serious work very quickly.
Yeah, we're going to see who gets control of those power-ups, who gets control of these first strongholds. Let's kick it off. Woodham just laying down so much damage, long haul, and over at Sneaky. Gets the flank over towards bottom control. Double kill on the board for Woodham, and he's not stopping. He's going for the C.
He's Thanos right now. I'll do it myself. Knocks 2 players to no shield, finishes up the other 2. You want some too, buddy? Wootum, done. Gets the kill, takes the stronghold, and it's a trip cap for foe early on.
Happen, does he decide to press this advantage towards A or just hold towards control? Looks like gonna wait for a moment, and the push comes in here from foe. Is this an overextension? Mighty's goes down, Woodham goes down, Jimbo goes down. And what looked like an aggressive play to take a trip cap is now going to turn into an all-4 down for foe.
And you would have hoped that that would allow you to get more than 10 points on the board. Unfortunately not for the side of foe. Cloud9 back in control and in the lead even after that great play from Wootum to kick it off.
And you have to say that's just a straight-up mistake there from foe's side. You have to know when you can press your advantages and when the other team has a strong spawning position. Elevator, it's a really tough spot to collapse on until you already have the advantage, until you have someone with a secondary angle. And they kind of trickled in 1 by 1, and now because of it, they're down by 20 points.
20 points, but they are in B. B doesn't get transferred though. Diagram with the assassination onto Wootum, resets B. Cloud9 continue to score.
Cloud9 looking good after a scary start. Fight on triple stacks, gonna see who gets the help first. Looks like Septify is gonna help Rami down there in the bottom center, and Rami just still being a nuisance down here.
Good damage.
Has to decide if he's gonna stay down here for camo, but realizes it's still 15 seconds away. Gets a bit more active in top center.
Good damage, good information. Multiple players, no shield. They're all going to spawn elevator here, Rami says to the rest of the team. And this is a containment process. Camo coming up. You don't want to overextend. The push from foe is a focus on the C. One player bottom middle. Can't quite get diagram just yet. Eventually, Wootum's able to get that kill. But it makes it long enough to where now Rami has snuck it away with the camouflage.
And look at that. Rami gets it with his second life. I would say, especially on a map like this, where camo is so easily accessible in the bomb center, you're only going down there unless you're hiding and trying to bait something or going down last second. And so I like that play from Rami. Get up, get active, don't leave your teammates in a 3-on-4 for 15 seconds. Instead, he goes up, like I said, gets active, and then gets camo later, and it falls into his hands.
A and B now in the setup for Cloud9. Rami spotting multiple players trying to do the camo jump. That's not the way you want to go, foe. Rami takes them all down with the assist of the rest of Cloud9. They're pushing the trip cap. They get all 4 down. Let's spawn them over towards A once again. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Let's see if Cloud9 does the same play that foe did. Are they going to challenge here at elevator? Looks like Tusk does immediately try to push towards elevator. Does anyone else push on in? Diagram also falls. Not sure if that's an elevator challenge or someone already in position, but this could be history repeating itself.
That grenade from Rami knocks the player to no shield in the turbine. His teammate's able to pick up the kill. 3 go down for foe again. Rami is popping off right now. 4 down for foe. They push the trip cap once again, spawning in long haul. And if you're foe, the lead already up over 100, you have to find a way to get some slays.
Rami has been in more melee and up-close battles, I feel like, this series than anyone else.
Man.
He is just swinging. I'm going to be careful if I'm walking by him in the elevator in real life or if I'm walking by him in the hallway. I am just going to be, you know, making sure there's plenty of space. No lunge distance between us.
Rami's walking extra wide this morning. 2 players from foe trying to push towards glass. The headshot from Septify, not good enough. As that player knocked to no shield, but not picked up. 2-on-2 split. B finally getting transferred over, but here comes Septify with every intention of getting the reset. Multiple members make that such a difficult fight for Jimbo. The reset happens. A being transferred over by foe. Unfortunately, in the meantime, C being transferred from Cloud9. It's a complete flip of the map, but somehow Rami back A, where he started this phenom, is now pushing the trip cap once again.
Yeah, those B trades are so devastating as you get the hill so close in there. We saw it happen against Woodham at the end. We saw Jimbo just falling there in that most recent exchange. it's just, like I said, devastating. You can get to 99% of that conversion, and someone flips in, gets the melee, and gets the reset. And all that hard work in the most vulnerable stronghold is gone.
200 to 16, an absolute slaughter. Game 2 did not shake or waver Cloud9's confidence. 3 down for foe again, and they will have one chance to come off respawn and stop this trip cap.
It's not looking good. I don't even see where these spawns are at, because not only do they have to stop this trip cap, they have to get 2 of these strongholds. So C is just going to stop the bleeding, and there's still a gaping wound here. This one's going to be over before we know it. 248, 249. That's going to be game number 3 in dominating fashion for Cloud9.
Well, I hope